welcome back. So it's a full day on Saturday, unless my house blows away. At any rate, it's windy out there right now. So we've got 2 matinee games, and then we've got 10 evening games, meaning it's not as busy as a couple of days I've had this week. Cool. So starting at 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, we got the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Detroit Red Wings. That'll have my undivided attention for 2 hours, and that game will get its own review. So for these teams, it's the second meeting. October 16th, Detroit wins 4-0. So Detroit will be looking to get back on the winning track against Columbus here. And then the third and final meeting will be March the 19th. So for Columbus, they're not on a winning track either. They're 4-6-3 so far. They're scoring 2.62 goals per game. They're allowing 3.38. Voronkov, 7 games played since his call-up, 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points. He has been good, or 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points, sorry. And of course, if Laine can come back soon, that would absolutely help too. On the Detroit side, they're 7-5-2, but they were at 1.5-1, right? So it's slipped a bit since then. They're scoring 3.57 goals per game. They're allowing 3.21 goals per game. Moritz Seider, good season for him thus far, a goal and 10 assists. For each team, I've just put a young player on the board, or if they don't have a young player, I picked somebody else I want to talk about. So yeah, Columbus, Detroit should be interesting. 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific, Dallas and Winnipeg. So this is the whoever loses has to sleep on the couch kind of thing, because my wife's team and my team. I'm kidding. It's not a thing. First of 4 meetings. They'll meet again November the 28th, February the 29th. Remember, it's a leap year this year, people, and April the 11th. For Dallas, they're 8-3-1. They're scoring an even 3 goals per game. They're allowing 2.5 goals per game. Wyatt Johnston, 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 points for him. He's been very good for Dallas. Winnipeg 7-4-2 on the season. They're scoring 3.62 goals per game. They're allowing 3.31. Cole Perfetti, 3 goals, 7 assists, 10 points. He's been good lately, so Perfetti's on a bit of a heater. We'll see how things go against Dallas tomorrow. And then we get to 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. 1, 2, 3, 4 games going then. 2 a half an hour later, another half an hour later, and then the late starts. So very similar to the other night. 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific, Boston and Montreal, the first of 4 meetings. They'll meet again November 18th, January 20th, as well as March the 14th. Boston's 11-1-1, because we like ones. They're scoring 3.31 goals per game. They're allowing 1.92 goals against per game. So that's pretty good. And Low-Rise, since being called up 4 games, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points. I think he's earned a spot on the roster even after everybody's back, but we'll see what they do. Odds are they probably send him down because he doesn't need waivers. On the Montreal side, they're 6-5-2. They're scoring 2.92 goals per game. They're allowing 3.38 goals against per game. Goulie's played 9 games so far this year, but he's been very good when he's played. He has 4 assists, and he does a little bit of everything on the blue line for Montreal. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between Calgary and Ottawa. I'm wearing Ottawa because I like to live a little bit dangerously sometimes with which jersey I wear for previews. January 9th, these teams will meet in Calgary. They both desperately need this win, but Calgary's on the second half of a back-to-back. Ottawa outplayed Vancouver for most of the game they played last night, so if they can do it again, they should be able to beat Calgary, who are 4-7-2 on the season, scoring 2.77 goals per game, allowing 3.54. Connor Zary, 4 games, 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points for him since the call-up. He's been quite good. Ottawa's 5-7. They're scoring 3.83 goals per game. They're allowing 3.58. That needs to come down. But Järventi's been good since the call-up. 3 games, just the 1 assist, but he's been all around it. He's due for a goal at some point soon. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between Carolina and Tampa. And Carolina, I know we're only 14 games into the season. They're above 500, but there has to be some concern right now with Carolina and their road record. So Tampa Bay beat them 3-0 on October 24th, so Carolina looking for a measure of revenge here. The third and final meeting will be November the 24th. Yep. Unfortunately, 2 weeks from now, and they're done with each other. So for Carolina, they're 8-6 on the season. They're scoring 3.29 goals per game. They're allowing 3.5 goals per game. Marty Necas, 5 goals, 6 assists, 11 points for him. Necas has been quite good for Carolina for years, but finding somebody younger than him currently on the roster, I've talked about Kotkaniemi a bunch lately, so I figured throw Necas on the board. For Tampa Bay, they're 6-4-4. They're scoring 3.79 goals per game. They're allowing 3.57 goals per game. And for young players, well, I decided to go a different direction. Barry Boulay, before he gets sent down, don't tell me he got sent down. Don't tell me he got sent down already. Before he gets sent down, they have to put him on waivers if they're going to do that. 12 games, 4 goals, 3 assists, 7 points. I like Barry Boulay. I think he's been useful for them. Tampa fans, let me know what you think. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between Vancouver and Toronto. This is the first of 2 meetings. They'll meet again in Vancouver on January the 20th. So the Canucks are 10-2-1. They're scoring 4.54 goals per game. They're allowing 2. Now, Canuck fans some of them have been getting mad when I say it's not really sustainable. They're going to come down to earth at some point. It's just teams don't go through a full season scoring 4.5 goals per game and allowing 2. So at some point in time, things are going to go back to not necessarily normal, but something resembling normal. Kuzmenko, 3 goals, 9 assists for him. He's not a young player per se, but he's only in his second year, so I figured I'd put him up there. He's been very useful. He's not getting goals like last year, but he doesn't need to. He's still getting points. For Toronto, they're 7-5-2. They're coming off of a shootout victory over Calgary tonight. They're scoring 3.43 goals per game and allowing 3.64. And again, they allowed 4 goals against Calgary. So that's 8 games in a row at home that they've allowed 4 goals. And now Vancouver's coming in and they're averaging 4.54 goals per game. And Woll played tonight, so does Samsonov start tomorrow against Vancouver? You see where I'm going with this? Nyes has 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 points. That being said, again, it's been an unpredictable start to the season. Maybe Samsonov has a great game, and we're talking about how, hey, maybe he can be the starter, because why not? Toronto, it seems like every week it's a conversation. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific start between Washington and the Islanders. This is the second of 4 meetings on November the 2nd. The Islanders won 3-0. These teams will meet again December the 20th and December the 29th. They will be tired of each other, and then they won't see each other again until next year, unless they meet in the playoffs. Washington 6-4-2 to start the year. Their goals for is up to 2.17. Still some struggles with scoring, but if they can keep the pace down, and the Islanders aren't really a fast team, this could be an interesting one. Washington allowing an even 3 goals against per game. Connor McMichael's been good to start the year. 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points. It's nice to see him sticking with the team this year. On the Islanders front, they're 5-4-3 to start the season. They're scoring 2.58 goals per game, and they're allowing an even 3 goals against per game as well. So both of these teams with negative goal differentials. Holmstrom has played 11 games of the 12 that have been played by the Islanders, and he has 4 goals to start the season. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific start between the Buffalo Sabres and the Pittsburgh Penguins. So at this point, there will be 6 games on. This is the first of 3 meetings between Buffalo and Pittsburgh. They'll meet again November the 24th as well as January 6th. For Buffalo, they're 7-6-1 to start the year. They're scoring 3.14 goals per game. They're allowing 3.07. Power, a goal and 7 assists, 8 points. Very good defenseman. Love his game a lot. On the Pittsburgh front, they're 6-6. They're coming off that very successful road trip. Can that translate to a home result? They're scoring 3.5 goals per game and allowing 2.83 goals against per game. They don't have a lot of young players either, so I'm going with Radim Zahorna. I've seen a lot of talk about him. Hey, I've gone to bat for Zahorna for years. He bounced around the league a little bit last year, but this year with Pittsburgh, 8 games, 3 goals, 1 assist, 4 points. Not saying he's a dynamo and he can do everything, but I think he's a useful NHL player. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific start between Arizona and Nashville. This is the first of 4 meetings between the two. They'll meet again January 20th, February 10th, as well as March the 28th. For Arizona, they're 6-6-1 to start the season. They're scoring 3.08 goals per game. They're allowing 2.85 goals per game. Logan Cooley has not been the dynamo that was expected goal-scoring-wise, but his points are good. A goal and 7 assists, 8 points for him thus far this year. He's due for a couple of goals. Does he get them at the expense of the Nashville Predators, who are coming off of a rough road trip? They're now 5-8 on the season. They're scoring 2.85 goals per game. They're allowing 3.23 goals against per game. Evangelista, 1 goal, 7 assists, 8 points for him. So both Evangelista and Cooley with a goal and 7 assists, both young players, and we'll see if either of them end up on the score sheet. 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific. So at this point, a lot of games are going to be on at the same time. That'll be, 8 games? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 8 games. You know, honestly, it's not as bad as the other night. I had 9 games on the other night when the Colorado game started. So Colorado's at home against St. Louis. That's good news for Colorado because the last time they met St. Louis was on a losing streak, and they turned their losing streak around against the Blues. Maybe they do it again. November 1st, they beat St. Louis 4-1. This is the second of 4 meetings. They'll meet again December the 29th as well as March the 19th. For St. Louis, they're 6-5-1 to start the season. Their goals for coming up a little bit, 2.33 goals per game. Their goals against 2.75. Jake Neighbors, good solid young player, 2 goals. He's more known for his hitting and his physical game than his offense, but I figured throw him on the board. On the Colorado side, they're 8-4 to start the season. They're scoring 3.33 goals per game. That's been coming down. They're having trouble lately. They're allowing 2.92 goals per game. So their goal differential not as gaudy as usual. Byram, 3 goals, 1 assist, 4 points. He had a nice goal in their last game. We'll see if he puts up a couple of points tomorrow. 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific a game. A lot of people are going to be watching the Oilers in Seattle. I did see on Sportsnet that a lot of them are taking Edmonton to win this game. I don't know. See, Seattle, it feels like it's turning things around. So this is the first of 4 meetings. They'll meet again November 15th, January 18th, and March the 2nd. The Oilers know when they come home, changes are coming. And if they really want to keep their coach, they really need to get some wins here, because the easiest thing to do when your team is losing is to replace the coach. They're 2-9-1. Not good enough. They're scoring 2.58 goals per game, allowing 4.17 goals against per game. The only team with the worst goals against is San Jose. Lavoie, since being called up, he's played 3 games. He doesn't have a point, but he's been around it. He's had some shots, so I figured put him on the board. On the Seattle side, they're 5-6-3. They're scoring 2.71 goals per game. They're allowing 3.36, but it feels like they're getting better, and they're starting to figure this out. Matty Beniers, a goal and 6 assists thus far for 7 points this season, and he's finally got his first goal, so do they start rolling for him now? And then at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, the game that may very well go to a shootout because it's a 7:30 start on a Saturday, so why not? The Philadelphia Flyers in LA. LA went into Philadelphia and won 5-0 on November the 4th. Philadelphia is 6-7-1. They're coming off of a win over Anaheim tonight. 3.14 goals for per game, 3.14 goals against per game. Forster has not had a goal, but he's had 3 assists. I figure put Forster on the board for the same reason some of the other guys are on there. See if they get a goal. LA 8-2-3 to start the season. 4.15 goals per game and allowing 2.77 goals against per game, and coming off of a loss against Pittsburgh. They want to get back on the right track. Byfield, 2 goals, 10 assists, 12 points. He's around a point per game right now. He's been playing quite well. But let me know your thoughts, including who you think is going to win the games tomorrow, in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe for whatever reason you would like to hit like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for all your support. It means a lot. I will talk to you again soon.